And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back.
Let's freaking go.
Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a Thursday. Barnes, Tony, and Zach is back. What's going on, fellas?
Zach attack, dude. Doing good, bro. Obviously hyped here. Mets, let's freaking go. Big day, Thursday night football. Weekend's right around the corner here, bud.
Oh, yeah. A lot of excitement in the air. I have to ask, though, Zach, how's it going, man? Been a little bit?
Good. I'm busy with school, but still making time for the Mets and football starting.
Dude.
So I'm pretty juiced for that as well. So
the Saints, dude.
Yeah, an exciting time of year. Obviously, the Saints with the big win, last week as well. I mean, you buying into that at all, or just the Panthers? Let's see what happens this week.
I was talking to Tony about it before. Panthers are terrible, probably the worst team in the league in my opinion. But I really like the way the offense was ran. I like that everybody was involved. Our defense is good as always. That's not my worry. I'm more worried about being able to get everybody involved on offense. But I was really happy with Kamara, and that bombed Shaheed at the beginning of the game was really awesome because we haven't thrown the ball like that, not last year at least.
And Shaheed, yeah, he's a playmaker. He's so fast. I mean, you get him the ball in space, forget about it.
Yeah.
What's so funny, dude?
I don't know, dude. It seems like you're waiting for something over there.
No.
You know what I have to say, though, that I was very impressed. I'm just curious again if you wanted this to be a talking point or what. But Yankees in the title and no Mets. I mean,
obviously thought of you.
Okay.
Clearly.
Yep.
And also, again, thinking storylines too. I suppose, the Met walk-off or the Yankee walk-off win. I mean,
more of a headline.
I would say more
even though
of a headline.
In all seriousness, it was a really good rally for the Mets, obviously.
Yeah, crazy.
As well.
Crazy.
But I'm saying,
Yeah.
I was impressed by that, honestly. I was not expecting to see that.
Oh, all right. Well,
I thought it was like till the end of time, like Yankees are not going to lead off.
I mean, it was alphabetical. It's really what it is. And then obviously Thursday night football also, kind of trumps here. Big matchup, Bills, Dolphins. I want to get that in the headline. So yeah, man, it's
yeah.
We'll see.
Honestly,
not every time it's gonna be Yankees first, but hey, I think last night warranted a little response.
Nice to see it there sometimes, Tony. Nevertheless, right?
I didn't realize. I really just I thought you were always joking. To be honest, I didn't really think this was affecting you that much, dude.
No, it was just kind of interesting to see the pattern play out. That's all. Because it seemed like we make the alphabetical call, but it just it seemed hard to believe that it was an alphabetical situation. Basically, is what I'm telling you.
So you didn't believe me, is what you're saying, dude.
I mean, yeah, you're cheesing, talking about it. I mean, Zach didn't believe you either. I mean, come on.
Oh, come on, dude.
But in all seriousness, what a time of year this is, boys, huh?
Kind of crazy. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, dude. I mean, the baseball has been so ridiculous. Glued to my seat, honestly. Especially with the way the Mets have been playing, the Braves too, the wild card situation over there, and then all of a sudden it's like you go through the week, you have all this like hype up, like you're nervous, heart's beating fast, baseball, and then bang, dude, like great Thursday night football matchup. Golf is going on in the background too, like really is, dude. It's sick, full swing, man, full swing.
No pun intended with that. It really is full swing. And yeah, the stadium last night was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it was nice too. And I was mentioning this to you before, but last few times I've been there, we go to Arthur Ave. So by the time we're done, there's not time to go to Billy's.
Right.
But was there for about like an hour and a half yesterday.
Oh, wow, dude.
And it was just the patio really filled up. Just such a vibe, and it's just so nice when it's perfect weather. 70. They got the overhangs on the patio, so
hell yeah,
you're not hot.
My God, dude,
the
so
sun
nice.
cruisers,
the
Tony.
sun cruisers,
That's
the train going by. Oh yeah, you kidding me, dude? I mean, never had a bad time there. So like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, and
shots.
no shots. Funny, John mentioned. I'm like, John,
Fireball.
what are we doing here?
Yeah.
We don't need to have shots. But yeah, that was awesome. So good to be back at Billy's.
Hell
It's
yeah,
been,
dude.
I think a couple months actually, because probably the Dodgers series last time with Matt. And then the seats were great. Third base side.
Mhm.
And we'll obviously go over the recap of the game, but so exciting. And just what you talk about with like every pitch, needing to see it. I mean, everything just feels like such a big deal. And even Jazz said after the game, it felt like, a playoff game, and especially what it changed for him coming to Miami, where worst attendance in the league. And here we are, it's New York Wednesday night, and there's 40,000 people, and they're going nuts about every single thing.
Yeah, and especially in a game like that too. I mean, you mentioned it, like a close game, extra innings, that type of like tight game just makes the win so much better,
Yeah.
Let's go.
And then to be there for a walk-off too, you can't beat that in baseball, like regular season.
I feel like you get walk-offs often over there, dude.
No, it's crazy. I was trying to think about that. So I know for certain, I've been to like the Stanton walk-off, Trevino walk-off, the Rizzo walk-off, this walk-off. And I mean, all the games I went to over the year, probably a couple more. So probably I would estimate somewhere around like 7, 8.
Hell yeah, dude.
So pretty awesome to be there for that.
What's your record this year? Do you know in terms of wins, losses?
7-7.
Really?
It's crazy.
It's a
so
great
I
drink.
just been on the bad end of a couple, because 2 of those were in San Diego. So actually only 5-7 at the stadium.
Wow.
But we'll have a chance tomorrow to make it 8-7. So riled up for that.
Yeah, you want to be above 500,
Yeah. But nothing like being at a close win, though, I have to say. And just seeing the bullpen get big outs too, because that's something, Clay blown it. And of course, he gave up the lead yesterday when he came in. But Luke Weaver, I've really been impressed with.
Let's go, baby.
It's amazing. And they were making fun of him actually on the Fan. I had switched back and forth, when DNR were in commercial. And they were making fun of him because he got, he'll be there. But he was like getting emotional, just saying like, oh, how hard it is to play in Major League Baseball. And you understand that coming from him, because he was very mediocre and pretty much a bust, was kind of highly touted in the Cardinals organization. But I think before this season, I mean, what's his career ERA? Almost 5.
They're not great at all.
Not pitched well.
No, not at all. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like there was always something about him that I thought he would have like good control in big situations. And I know, I mean, the sample size is still small, I suppose, at least this year anyway, for like putting him in tight, like closing situations or anything like that. But still, what did he get? Did he give you 6 outs? Did he get 2 innings?
He get 1 2/3.
1 2/3.
5 outs. Yeah.
So like, I mean, that's huge though.
Oh
like,
yeah, throwing 96.
Oh my God.
With a change up as well.
Love that.
And it's interesting. And it's like obviously so further thinking, but he gives you multiple innings or whatever, more than an inning out of the bullpen.
Oh yeah.
But he came up as a starter. So like I had heard somebody mention this a while ago, like, oh, next year, like, are they going to try to put him in the rotation? Almost what they did with Michael King. And it's an interesting thought, but I just feel like the thing is he's so jacked up. The only thing is like, how do you feel about that when you have a guy that can pitch more than 1 inning, but you feel like he's best as a closer, but then usually that's only a 1 inning stint, so you almost feel like you're wasting him? Or do you feel like your best reliever at the end of the day should be your closer? Just go with it.
I mean, I would say I'm a heavy, firm believer of that. If he's a great closer, like keep him in the closing position.
Yeah.
It's so important, especially in big spots in the playoffs, stuff like that. But I will say, like talking, I guess, from like a Met perspective, let's say Seth Lugo, I think is a prime example of like maybe you should give him a chance to start, because that's the whole reason why he like not wanted to leave, but ended up leaving because he wanted to be in the rotation, and like they didn't want to put him there.
And when you say the difference with that is though, like in the rotation, I mean, he did a pretty good job before. It wasn't how he's doing this year,
right?
But he, was respectable. While Weaver, was like getting released. So it's like, do you think because he failed there, it's like why go back there and just keep with what you're good?
I would say it depends on what Luke Weaver also wants. You know, if he's chill with being in the closer position, that's great. Let's go. But again, like Seth Lugo, if he's like, hey man, like I want to be a starter. If we don't figure this out, like I'm cool with also leaving.
Yeah.
But hey, like I said, if he's cool there, I would definitely keep him there. I don't want to mess with that. And your rotation, I mean, you can, like their rotation will be fine. Like next year, like you don't really need him in the rotation.
And I think he's fired up.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I have a feeling too, because before coming to the Yankees, he struggled. That he's like, no, everything's good. Let's keep it this way. Yankees lucked out too. Signed him to a 1-year, $2.3 million deal before this season.
Wow.
Team option for next year for 2.5. And I think they said with innings pitched to go up to 3.5. But point being, that's a hell of a deal because, I mean, you would think, I mean, he's easily making double digits per year after the season he's had.
Oh, yeah.
You're in the 3 strikeout stuff. I mean, could be a starter. So, I mean, that's a really good signing.
Would you put him at the starting role or would you want to keep him?
I like the fact that he's been good. So let's just keep it as it is. And especially, I think we can work with what we have there. You know, if stuff went awry and we need to do that, great.
Right.
But I think unless we have to do that, let's have our best guy.
Yeah.
Be the closer.
I mean, why would you want to, like, who would you be putting in there then? Like, try to Canley or something and then, like, risk, like, what something happens?
I like Canley as a setup. And I think, too, I don't know if this is Canley's, I think this is Canley's last year on the contract. I think I'll look it up. But while I'm actually looking that up, a lot of comments here. Let's say, get to those, Tony.
Oh, let's freaking go, dude. Yeah, actually, I don't, let's, actually, I think I do have access to the comments here. Hold on, stand by here. All right, let's freaking go off the top. Oh, okay, Brian. All right, first comment here. Brian Barnaby says, what a night at the stadium. Let's go, he says, dude, which is great. Josh B in the house. Also, LFG, what up, gents? Now we're moving on from fam to gents. Sounds like a downgrade. That's fine, though.
Go.
Soto is a monster, he says. Hashtag TC, hashtag sports, hashtag DTV. Kev Dude Taylor also in here. Let's go, he says, dude. The Mets want the smoke. What a game from them yesterday. So resilient. No hit to the 9th. Lindor MVP. We can talk about it. I mean, it's arguably the second best player in the NL. Nonetheless, though, Matthew Gabriel in the house says, let's go. Also, Josh Boy, Kev Do is smoking what it do, he says. And he says, hey, Bonds, dude. I'll see you at the stadium today, brother. Anthony Material in here with a nice let's go Mets. Matthew Gabriel, have you banter. Kev Deuce says, what up to Matty G? Matthew Gabriel, go to Fordham. I'll see you at the tracks with Junior, dude. Oh, yeah, I forgot about football. LOL, Matthew Gabriel. That's sick, he says.
Dude, speaking of Matthew Gabriel, we were talking about before. Pumped for tomorrow night. Yankees, Sox, can't beat that.
Really?
Enzo's before. You know the greatness, dude. Tony, of Enzo's.
The affogato, dude.
Wow,
dude. All right, also, me and Matty Boy matched up fantasy football this week. Fucking kick rocks, Matthew. But no, I'm actually pretty stoked. Thursday night, obviously, start off some. I'm actually have a lot of questions in terms of who to start. So we can talk about that later.
Oh yeah, we'll talk.
And yeah, I don't know if I want to talk too much with Matty G watching. You know, give too much of my strategy, dude.
Oh,
you know,
wow, gotta be careful with that.
Speaking of being careful, Lonnie's in the house with a nice good morning, guys. GM, I had a great time last night with Barnes. Thanks again for thinking of me, man. Much appreciated, for real. Great night at the stadium with the guys. Sick walk-off win and extras as well. Hashtag the company. And he says the seats were awesome too. And they were solid seats.
Yeah. Awesome seats. Third baseline. See all the action. And like you said, we had a great time. Everyone, me, Lonnie, Ken, and John, everybody just fired up. And like I said, edge of the seat. And just to get that win and just be like, all right, let's head to the train. Not like me and Matt have had a couple. I think we lost our first 4 we went to this year. So like, you know, those are long train rides after. So to get the win, you can't beat it.
Long, silent train rides. Speaking of silent here, Matthew Ryan says, let's go Yankees, buddy, he says. And then goes on.
Boy.
Fucking tear. Before that, my mother pops in. Hello, fellas.
Hello.
Hi, Mom. What's today? Thursday. She's off 10:15 a.m.
Cooking and getting some treats, right?
I mean, I would imagine like dinner is on her mind right now. It's the off day. My father comes home. Trip to the bakery, maybe. Alfonso's. That's really more of like a Friday. Like at work, you're right there. Pick them up. Might as well.
But extra time, day off, nice day, want to get out.
That's true. I feel like Thursdays were normally like a Costco run day. Buy in bulk.
Maybe a dip in the pool. I mean, perfect day for our pool's closed now.
There's no way the pool's closed right now.
Oh no, are they?
Yeah, the heater. It's until November, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
That is
literally
sick. And technically, could it be a year-round situation? Obviously, it would be.
I guess technically, yeah. But I mean, that's just madness, dude. Like that.
No, you know.
Yeah.
It's tough for me to get out of that pool, Tony.
Dude.
What's Bonds over there doing in the corner?
Is he dead? Can somebody check on him? Speaking of is he dead? Matthew Ryan says Mets suck and then Rangers suck, which is kind of crazy out of left field a little bit. He says Mets almost got no hit last night. LO hot garbage, he says, which is just total nonsense. Yankees win again, though, he says. Nice walk-off. That's how a real team wins.
Let's go, Matthew Ryan. Good to see some positivity.
Yeah, dude. Lonnie Barnes, super pumped for that win, too. Oh, I'm sure Lonnie was a first-hand account of the excitement. And then Matthew Ryan says, Barnes, I added you on Facebook. Added a Yankee fan to my Facebook friends. Barnes,
we'll
he says.
We'll be sure to add him.
You know what? He added me too. So we got a Mets fan as well. So take that, Matthew. And then Josh B says, here we go. Matthew Ryan, the crazy talk commenced. Josh B having none of it, dude. The meetings he's been in this week.
Doesn't have time for it.
It's one thing to trash talk the Mets, but if you're trash talking the Rangers now, I mean, Josh B is going to get really angry, dude.
And it's funny, talking about being pumped up for the win. If you go back to the video, it didn't quite get to the level of Houston Astros ALCS 2017, but same type of let's go.
Let's go.
After the out was clinched and just happened to be recording it, which just made it even better than it already was, if that was even possible.
Do we want to do a 30-second spot or
give him 30 just to get it out of the way?
All right, stand by here. I got to connect to the Bluetooth. Hopefully this one works today, because if it doesn't really work, I'm gonna be kind of tight.
Yeah, you're gonna be pretty tight.
Because it's not me. It's just a technical issue. Make sure the Bluetooth is unmuted on the board.
It's all set. Yep.
All set. All right, stand by.
Let's go Yankees!
Let's go, Matthew. Let's go.
Matthew, what do you got? All right,
that's
30 seconds, Matthew.
Great win yesterday.
Oh, yeah, gutting it out. And nice to see the bullpen step up, other than who else? Oh, Clay Holmes, like he always does. But at least we know we can't even pitch him in the 7th inning.
20 seconds.
Clay Holmes can't pitch. And it's just great to see a team that gels together to win.
Yeah, it does what it takes. Does what it takes against a playoff team. Luke Weaver, too. Balls of steel, too. Really?
Yeah,
no, Tony, people say that. I don't know. It's not right, Matthew Ryan? It's not that crazy to say. Especially Luke Weaver. He's got us some big outs.
I'm not being negative. I'm just Clay Holmes does not need to be on the Yankees.
No, don't even put him on the playoff roster. I don't care.
He could be
Bring back
on the
Phil
Mets
Bickford,
for all I care.
honestly.
Really?
I think I would rather, honestly. Clay Holmes is just
I would rather have
he's
Clay
bad
Holmes.
juju. Honestly, he really is. Every time it's a disaster.
DFA,
it's a walk,
and then
it's a hit.
I don't know about Bickford, though. That's a little bit
Yeah,
of a stretch.
Bickford's crazy, but any other option.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the point I'm trying to make.
Go pick up Green, okay, dude?
Any other here's the one thing I will say.
You have 10 seconds.
No, I got to finish this point. Clay Holmes needs to be on the Mets because he looks like a Mets pitcher.
Okay. All right. There we go. Thank you for the call. Matthew Ryan, dude. Always a pleasure when he comes in here and waxes his poetic.
I have to ask you this, Tony, because he mentioned Clay going to the Mets. And I know it's one of those ridiculous, hypothetical things. Neither we get it. But if you had to have one next year, 1-year contract,
right,
would you rather have Clay or Gleyber Torres?
Probably Clay Holmes, I guess.
Even though you've seen how it's a mental thing, or you're thinking different scenario, he'd be better. The stuff is there. He's just a head case.
Yeah, you never know. It could be a head case, but also it's at the end of the day, I feel like both players would be useless, right? Next to useless, probably. But having an extra arm in the bullpen,
right.
I would say it would be better than just having Torres, who could maybe hit a home run every so often.
But then have a couple mental errors.
Well, they obviously short leash. But what are we going to use Torres for? He's not going to play the field.
Yeah.
What?
No, you're right. But yeah, it's just so exciting right now.
Question.
And nice too, getting some help last night. The Red Sox walking it off, and it is crazy too with the Red Sox. And I feel like I've mentioned this before, but no matter how good or bad they are, Fenway Park late in the season, tough to beat them.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I feel like that park is always a little tough to win, no matter what.
Outs in for some reason, the ball seems to find holes.
Literally, and it's definitely a quirky park. And like you said, late in the season too, I feel like the fans there. It's another example of always having a packed house, no matter what.
Right.
They're always a good fan base. They always show up. Especially now, hockey season's starting to ramp up a little bit. NBA starting soon too. It's they feel like people are getting into it, dude. The winter's coming, the fall in Boston, people like that shit.
But at the same time, it looks like they're going to miss the playoffs yet again.
Right.
Do you think they're headed in the right direction? I mean, Cora might be on the way out too. He doesn't have a contract for next year. Seems like the ownership has gone cheap. You have some players that look good, like Duran.
He's got to watch his mouth.
It seems like there's still a lot of pieces to be brought in, and it doesn't seem like they're really close to competing just yet. I don't even think next year. Honestly, it depends on what type of offseason
think
they
so.
have.
I don't think so either. I'm not convinced with Brian Bayo, dude.
Bad extension. Rush the extension. No need for it.
Literally no need. And he has, to me, he hasn't proven a thing yet.
Right.
Duran, obviously, I love. Cutter Crawford, I mean,
really batting practice a lot.
Honestly. And it's like he has bright spots, but like, is he really a pitcher of your future? Probably not. I think though, like maybe Cora leaving would be the start of like something new and good, to be honest. But like you said, next year probably not competitive. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. But Cora's gotta go. Buck.
You really think?
I mean, that man deserves a fucking job. All right, like I'm not gonna lie.
But honestly, I would almost welcome it simply because if they get to like a big spot, like he'll end up blowing it. Honestly,
possibly.
Looking at history, I mean, I'm okay with that.
Just be careful. Be careful.
But I'm saying history has shown. I mean, that's
he does not finish the job. Yes, exactly.
But it's so exciting. Stretch run. In football, week 2 starting tonight. And speaking of which, let's first go to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick 6. Minka Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again. Mahomes escaping on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones. Oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
Williams.
All right. So for the first time this year, we get a Thursday night game on Prime. Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit here. Bills Dolphins divisional matchup coming from Miami, Hard Rock Stadium. It's kind of interesting. The Dolphins are 2.5-point favorites, but listening to the radio the last couple days, it does seem like, and Twitter as well, common sentiment. Allen historically playing well against the Dolphins, due for a big game. People backing the Bills. However, the line, was up to 3, but people, were betting, a lot of money on the Dolphins. It seemed like, so the line's gone down. It's interesting. Like I don't know how much the history between, Allen and the Dolphins really applies to this situation specifically. It took a lot for the Bills to come back against Arizona last week. And I know Dolphins struggled a lot too, but got a late Sanders field goal here. I mean, what do you think about this game tonight, Tony? I mean, what's kind of your initial thoughts here?
I honestly, I know we're in Miami, but I do like the Bills here tonight. I would say, Allen, like you said, the comeback win by the Bills was impressive. Honestly, for nothing, like Allen, no turnovers last week. I think that was pretty huge for him. So, I don't know. I would imagine him to also retain possession of the ball, not giving up those stupid turnovers, interceptions that we see him do so often. And I know, you can look at Tua last week, over 300 yards. Allen arguably did not have as good of a stat line. But still, I just feel like with his dual threat of the through the air, which has been good, and then the run game, his ability to run and to, shoulder people and to get those extra yards. He had 2 rushing touchdowns last week, and then I think 2 throwing touchdowns as well, right? So, he's a multifaceted QB. Tua's got some speed, obviously, but I don't know. I think the Bills defense would do a good job containing him. The run game for each side, I guess, is pretty even.
A-Chain out. A-Chain game time decision.
Really?
So
I saw a question, but I would think he's playing, right?
I would think McCaffrey's playing.
Yeah,
I would
true.
think the Jets keep it close with the 49ers.
Well, then I would say, I love Cook. Was it James Cook, right?
Yeah,
James Cook is great. So, if A-Chain's not playing, then obviously the run game there for the Bills would be there. So
Allen did injure that wrist, last week in the win against Arizona.
Yeah, but he's fine, right?
I'm just saying, but right though, how many times do we just say this and that? I'm not saying that you need to change your mind here.
Right.
All I'm saying is like these quick assumptions that we all do. Sometimes I think we kind of overlook some stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. But again, I mean, he said that the wrist is all good. So I mean, that's what I'm basing my decision off of. I'm assuming the wrist is good based on what he's saying. Can I get in the locker room and ask him? I'd love to. But I still say give me the Bills again, especially if A-Chain's not playing. Like, let's say, even like Allen's wrist is 100%. They run the ball a lot. Cook, I'm confident in him. The line could definitely run block pretty well. So,
you know what it is for me, and obviously, Mostert's a loss, all the touchdowns he had last year. But I look at these two teams, and I feel like they're very close. In terms of evenly matched, highly productive quarterbacks. But then the fact that Miami has Hill and Waddle. And I just don't know if the Bills secondary is that good. So I could just see a scenario where they're running down the field. I mean, if Tyreek Hill is open in space, I mean, he's going the distance. And then Allen, the wrist, or does he throw a pick? And the way that they started, and then the fact too that he's got newer receivers he's still gelling with. That's just kind of my thought there. In addition to the fact that, look at the normally what is he 11-2 against the Dolphins, 11-3, whatever it is. I just feel like when you hear that type of stuff, like, he'll be fine on top of it. That's what's making me think the other side here. Maybe I'm getting too cute, Tony, but that's just kind of my initial thoughts here.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, in terms of the gelling thing, I mean, I get that. And I think that's why we saw with the Bills, I don't think he's had a touchdown in the first half last weekend, right? Last week. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it took him a half to get things going. I would imagine this week of practice, knowing Miami too so well, I feel like the Bills are going to be more than enough prepared, for the Dolphins. And I think, we're not going to see a slow start by them, And yeah, I mean, I do understand, obviously, Hill is great. Waddle is very productive there as well. And the secondary, maybe if the Bills isn't the best. But again, I mean, I think they can do a good enough job, whereas the Bills can outscore the Dolphins at the end of the game. And then again, on top of that, I feel like I've seen a lot of times too. Sometimes, Tua doesn't have it. Sometimes you see Tua overthrow Tyreek Hill, which seems impossible, but he does it,
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see. Because Tua, I feel like also, I don't know what his numbers were like last week.
338 yards.
Any interceptions?
2 touchdowns, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had any picks.
I don't think he did.
Picks.
No picks?
Yes.
I mean, obviously very good for him as well, because I think he's another quarterback who does turn the ball over sometimes. But I guess we'll see, dude. And I feel like, I feel like the Bills' defensive line, though, is pretty solid. I would expect a lot more pressure on Tua than what Jacksonville did for him.
Yeah, you know what it is for me? It's just one of those things where I don't know. The Allen, just at times, I just feel like, you count on him.
Yeah.
Doesn't come up. But the one thing I will say, too, I know the Dolphins' record against the teams over, 500 isn't great either, last year or two.
Who's that edge rusher for is it Smoot? No, it's not Smoot.
On which team?
Oh, for the Bills. Sorry.
And by the way, while we're looking this up, I didn't realize. So the line actually started at Miami -1, has grown to 2.5. So people were, hammering the Dolphins as short favorites. Maybe had to do with the Allen hand injury. Obviously, now you have the Mostert injury. But I think, as we've seen, last week with McCaffrey being out and Mason going for $140, that if you're a team that runs the football well, you're going to run it well no matter who's in there. So I think that's kind of also part of that thought process. Looking at the Bills here, I mean, you got
Greg Rousseau, dude. That's the guy.
Rousseau, okay.
3 sacks last week, dude. That's huge. The edge rusher, 6'6", 266, dude. It's a big dude.
Yeah.
So watch out. Watch out, dude. And their linebacker is pretty good too.
Kind of interesting though, before we do our official picks on this one, and I want to hear what Zach has to say. But also, if anybody wants to comment here, let us know what you think is going to happen on the field tonight. Total is 48.5, by the way, too. That's gone down since 50.
Wow.
That it opened at. But what do you think we're seeing tonight, Zach?
I like the Bills. I'm probably going to put some skin on them, to be honest.
Yeah, dude.
I know they kind of had a slow start last week against the Cardinals, and they were kind of having some trouble offensively, but they picked it up, and I really liked what I saw to Josh Allen. And they have a good secondary as well. Tua known to turn the ball over in big situations. you have to account for Waddle and Hill. I actually have Hill on a few of my fantasy teams, so I need him to have a big night. But
so you wouldn't necessarily mind
I would-
Dolphins
yeah.
blowout win.
yeah,
Hill 300 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns.
yeah, that'd be great. But the Bills are, I think they're plus 115 right now on the money line. So I do like that because it's going to be a close game, I feel like, and I think they can come out with the win. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a field goal game. That's for sure. But and just kind of trying to understand the other side of things. Is it for you guys that you feel like, even though Allen, we've seen him, the interceptions, bad throws down the stretch of games, that it's like Tua, you've seen more of the same, and when it really comes down to it, you just think he's a slightly better quarterback? Is that kind of what you guys
Josh Allen
are seeing? Yeah, with the Tua comparison?
Yeah, I do think so. I think he does. At the end of the day, it's close.
Yeah.
But I think Josh Allen does make some smart decisions when he's under pressure. And then again, that ability to just truck players while he's running. I mean, it's a different type of threat than when you just when you're just a shifty runner, So.
I think Allen led the league in picks last year, but I'm looking at this. Tua must have been second, I'm guessing, with 14. Allen had what?
I think Allen
16?
had 18.
18. That is a lot.
And then Sam Howell had 20.
Okay.
But again, I don't know. I mean, that argument is always so tough because you look at, because I'm pretty sure like Josh Allen must have had more passing touchdowns. Like he has more offensive production, but the turnovers, yes, are there. But again, we'll see. I mean, no interceptions the first game. We've seen quarterbacks like Dak Prescott, almost, cut interceptions in half within an offseason. So you never know, dude.
And I think really, other than that, we didn't get any predictions, did we?
No predictions.
Wow, everybody's tight.
I'll double check right now, actually.
Just to make sure.
We got Josh B in here.
B.
Bills 31, Dolphins 27.
The funny thing is, though, I feel like you're giving me the look, Tony, that I should be tight, that I'm on an island here.
No, not at all, dude.
Teasing a little bit.
Well, it's just no. I'm just excited for this game, and I was actually just looking at Matt's fantasy team. He has Josh Allen.
Oh, okay.
But right now he's starting CJ Stroud.
Interesting.
So it should be interesting to see, what goes on.
That 2 good quarterbers to have, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's got great quarterbacks actually. And I'm interested to see how this weekend, kind of pans out. I'm a little worried, to be honest. Because Puka Nacua is out for me.
Oh yeah, IR, right, or no?
Yeah, torn MCL, I think, or I think MCL.
What's the timeline?
4 weeks.
4 weeks, I believe. Yeah, 4 weeks.
Okay.
And then I have Jaden Reed was my other receiver, which is great because he was killing it week 1, but then Jordan Love injured, so it's like, kind of tough, dude.
Yeah, Malik Willis might not throw for 100 yards.
Honestly, dude. So I don't know if I'm going to start him. I picked up Allen Lazard. He was used a lot, against the 49ers. Obviously, Rodgers knows he has chemistry with him, relying on him a lot as well. And I would imagine too against the Titans, they throw a lot. Maybe he gets a lot of receptions because fucking Devontae Adams did dog shit for me last week.
Yeah, Minshew.
What are we doing? So I don't know. I'm in a little bit of a tough spot here for a receiver, but I'm pretty stoked for everything else.
Who are the? Oh no, the Raiders play Baltimore. Ooh, that's a tough matchup.
I know, dude. So I don't know. I put Reed in there for now, and I have Adams on the bench, but I don't know, dude.
Go
ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I got nothing. Go ahead.
Obviously, you had something to me. I guess not. Anyhow, by the way, Tua and Allen both with 29 touchdown passes last year. That's kind of interesting, huh?
Wow, that is interesting. So what was Tua's interceptions,
14. So I mean, very close.
Very
obviously.
close. Yeah.
But what I was going to say, I think it would only be appropriate if we could, strike up the music.
The music, dude.
For a full-on Thursday night football frenzy. We're talking total. We're talking spread.
Let's freaking go, baby. We're in Miami, and we're watching this game on Amazon Prime. Dude, Jeff Bezos going to be in the house.
Al Michaels. Kirk Herbstreit. From the frozen tundra.
Mr.
Of Hard Rock Stadium. 80 degrees at kickoff.
What are they going to do? We're going to have hand warmers on the sideline here. The Bills coming in here, enjoying the sun, taking on the Dolphins here. You said it, dude. The line Where's my line here? There we go. Over under is 48.5. The Bills are given 2.5 points right there. They're plus 120 on the money line. Let's freaking go, dude. Which is kind of crazy. I guess home advantage, whatever. That's what you want right there. But obviously, I'm going to toss it over here to Brian for our first pick on this Thursday. Allen, Tua, McDaniels, McDermott. What do we got, Brian?
An all-time legendary game here, Tony. I think this one will go right down to the wire. And how about this? Tyreek Hill, the game-winning 60-yard touchdown, 10 seconds remaining. The Dolphins, 28. The Bills, 24. It's the Dolphins. It's the over, and it's Al Michaels, excited as he's been in 10 years.
Wow, dude. Michaels is going to be absolutely pumped up for this game. I know that, dude. It's a great matchup for him, I think, too, to be commentating. So let's go to my pick now. Honestly, the more I'm thinking about this, I think if anyone would be affected by the quick turnaround of the Sunday to Thursday game, it would be Tua, dude. I think maybe a little fatigue, maybe a little bad decisions, maybe little interceptions thrown today, which would be kind of tough here. I say Tua, again, I could see him getting 275, 280 through the air, whatever. I think those two picks, one of them for a pick six. Josh Allen continues his 4 for 4 touchdowns here, 2 through the air, 2 on the ground. He throws for 260, maybe 253. Very efficient through the air. Cook with a rushing touchdown as well. I'm going to say, give me the Bills. Give me the over. They win this game 34-28. Bonus pick, Zach. What do you got, dude?
Wow.
I got the Bills, as I said before. I think Tua gets rattled early. I think the Bills defense gives some good pressure to start the game, and we get a pick six on Tua's first drive.
Wow.
So that'll turn the tides. I think Josh Allen gets 1 rushing touchdown and 2 passing touchdowns. I think the Bills win 21-14.
And just like that, that is your full-on Thursday night football frenzy.
Wow, dude.
Wow. And I mean, do you think any chance? I mean, we're all expecting, a big player or two tonight. That Al Michaels, that we actually get the sense that he actually is excited because we've had some big plays that he's been on last couple of years, and everyone's kind of said, he doesn't have the same. You think he's going to make an emphasis on that this season?
I think so. I think some of the Thursday night matchups last year were dog shit. Literally terrible. There was one with the Bengals, obviously. Burrow was not even playing, dude.
The Jets
had one, definitely too. Yeah, which obviously trash.
Right.
I think even they had a Denver-Seattle one too, or something too. That was oh my goodness. So the matches were not great, and clearly they must have heard, I guess the cries from the fans because this is a great, I guess week 2 technically Thursday night matchup here, and even week 1 last week too was pretty solid for Thursday. But yeah, dude, Michaels is going to be amped. I think a newfound excitement. For sure.
Let's go. So I really can't wait to watch this one. Dude. And like we said, 8:15 on Prime.
Watch out for Brousseau.
Week 2 getting underway. I was just going to ask you, I know you don't want to divulge too much. I know he's in and out. Right. What were the fantasy decisions for tonight?
In terms of sorry, where am I? Here we go. Wow, dude.
Queuing stuff up.
Eager to talk about the Mets right now. I don't think I have anyone playing on Thursday, so I have time to decide these things. But I just don't know. I don't know if I'm going to start Adams or what, dude. And again, there's always a question of should I start Rodgers, Jalen Hurts though versus Atlanta. I would imagine he's going to be going off, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it was interesting. They were talking about it. I think Amani was talking about it in DNR. I don't know if you heard, but he was I was really concerned the way Rodgers was moving around. Seemed like he was limping.
Really?
He was talking about that, which is interesting. I mean, I think he definitely looked a little limber. Obviously, made the throws, but we would hope as the weeks go on here that he, probably looks a little more mobile. I get what he's saying to an extent, but at the same time, I wasn't oh my God, the season's over either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, we were watching the game pretty closely. I don't think I saw Rodgers looking injured or he
definitely
was
slower
wincing.
Though.
Of course. Yeah. I think he was a little
Ginger.
bit timid. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, again, a whole year off, torn Achilles. season-ending injury, game 1, dude. Like, of course, you're gonna be a little timid to getting hit, actually. Like, and especially nowadays in practice, like, I mean, how often is Aaron Rodgers getting hit during preseason or in practice?
Right. So it's
probably
a big
0
adjustment.
times.
Yeah,
exactly. So, I guess like you said, I think we'll see him become more mobile as the season goes on, and he becomes more limber and such. Because God knows he's going to need to become more mobile too, because he wasn't getting all the time in the world in the pocket. So we'll see. I don't think that he's like not 100% though. Like I think his body is. It's just a matter of getting back into the feel of things, I think.
What'd you think about the way he looks, Zach, and just the Jets in general? I mean, you think any reason for concern or just kind of tough opponent out of the gate?
I was going to say tough opponent out of the gate. Obviously, one of the best defenses in the league, specifically, not even talking about just their offense.
Yeah.
Bosa. Yeah, he's a beast. I think that their offense had really good flashes. Me and Tony talked about that drive they had, marched right down the field. I think his connection with Garrett Wilson, him and Rodgers, is good. I don't think that that's going to be an issue at all. But I think in terms of like him and Breece Hall, they need to kind of get on the same page. Breece Hall had some errors throughout the game. But overall, I think that you were playing a really, really good opponent. And I think that over time, they'll start to figure it out and click and get that chemistry offensively. I'm not really worried about their defense. I think that their defense is going to be just fine.
It just, San Francisco could run the ball against anybody. Yeah. It kind of feels like that. But at the same time, though, it's like, even though it's like, it's not technically, but it almost is in a sense. Like, I really want to see them put a beat down on Tennessee this
They
week.
have to.
Yeah.
I think my biggest concern, honestly, is not so much Rodgers. I think it's more Salah, dude.
Yeah.
Because again, like you want to think about the adjustments they made on defense during that game, week 1, probably none, right? Because it's like the whole game they had the Niners had the middle wide open for them. Like, and then lack of pressure to Brock Purdy. Like they got to figure something out there. Because I mean, dude, you can't. Again, I understand Niners one of the best teams in the league, but like the game against the Titans, like let's shut them out the first half. Like that's the type of game you should be having. Like Levis, there's no way he should be throwing for anything over $150. Honestly, like really. And I guess time will tell because you obviously offense. I mean, it's Rodgers running that shit, dude. You can tell by the way that he's at the line of scrimmage. The amount of audibles that guy made too, I think against the Niners. I mean, it's all him.
Yeah. No, that's true. You think this time to kind of be more prepared, maybe coach skips the trip up the stairs before the game, or?
Yeah, hopefully, dude. And hopefully, again, it's always back to the preseason for me too, with them, like not being prepared. Rodgers, you could argue like it was a little lack of focus, dude. The Egypt trips, like we can't be doing that sort of stuff. Like the ayahuasca, like there's so much outside noise and distractions for that guy. And then to come in week 1 and look ill-prepared, that's not good, dude.
No. And also, too, like, I hope not. And I think either way, they'll still win. But I could see them, a dogfight at halftime in Tennessee this week, honestly.
Oh, my
I really
God,
could, though.
dude.
Tony Pollard, 60 yards, 70 yards rushing in the first half. Really could see it, though.
Are we talking dogfight like 7-7?
10-10, 13-10, 13-13, 17-13, right? I mean, couldn't you? Especially, you would think Tennessee's going to see what San Francisco did and said, we're going to run the ball down the throat, too, and see if they can stop
Pollard. And Pollard's great, dude.
Spears as well.
Yeah.
Spears is another option on the backfields.
If I were the Jets, dude, I would just be super aggressive on offense right away, win the coin toss, receive first. I don't give a shit about the half.
And just go down and score.
Go down and score right away, dude. Just set the fucking tone. And then let's go, dude.
And one thing I'd like to see them do too, and I know he's coming back. I think it's an ACL, either ACL or Achilles. Either way, big injury. But Mike Williams only played a couple snaps last week, wasn't targeted, whatever. I know they're easing his way back, but it's like, don't make it where it's so slow easing him back where he's disgruntled a few games through. Like, I hope he plays, 50% of the snaps this week and like gets at least 4 or 5 targets. Like, he's going to be a weapon for this team, but let's not get off on the wrong foot with him.
Should I ask about Hassan or like what's the deal? Because I'm tired of talking about it, to be honest. Like,
I don't know. I don't know what it is when he has to report to get credit for the season, but yeah, it's so ridiculous.
And like, not for nothing, dude. Like, I don't think having him is like, it's just like an added bonus. I think at this point, it's like, dude, you kind of fucking need like an edge rusher. Like,
yeah. But I don't know. I mean, we haven't heard anything. Obviously, it's Thursday. There's still time technically. But then again, how could he even be ready to play even if we do sign him? I don't know. It's a very odd situation. One we really haven't seen that often, really, other than like Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
And we saw how that worked out for him.
Oh, not good at all, dude. And for the team he was playing for, I mean, nothing's good.
But before we get to baseball, Tony, I think you were going to pull up the PGA leaderboard.
Oh yeah, sure. I can get you there, dude.
Well, I'm gonna just be right back. But I figured you could give us.
Yeah, dude. All right, let's get a little update here. Let's go to PGA Tour. Absolutely, dude. Pro Core, Brian. Wow, dude. All right, obviously not a lot going on. I believe the first tee times were like 10:30 this morning. Nothing crazy. Looks like we have a few guys. Let's see, through 2, through 3, whatever. Jacob Bridgman is your leader right now. He's through 2 holes and he's 2 under. You want to break down a little bit of what we saw here? Back-to-back birdies to start off round 1, dude. Very impressive. Starting on the 10th hole, too. So starting on the back 9 here, Jacob. Birdied the par 4 on 10 and then birdied the par 3 on 11. So pretty impressive there. You want to look at his profile a little bit. I mean, who is this guy? 24 years old, turned pro 2 years ago, went to Clemson from South Carolina originally. And I mean, obviously, the card here is quite limited in terms of experience and winning. So take it as you may. He's only through 2, but you never know. This guy could be your winner. Kevin Tway in a fucking 4-way tie for second with Aaron Baddeley, Robbie Shelton, and Doug Gim, all at 1 under. Looks like Tway is the only one through 3 here yet. Then we have like a freaking 12 tie for 6, dude, which includes David Lipsky here. Let's see what else we got. Taylor Montgomery, Hayden Springer, Carson Young, Matt Neesmith, Adam Svensson, Tom Hoagie, and Jonathan Vegas, all tied for 6 there. Jonathan Vegas, Nick Taylor tied for 22nd. They're 1 over through 1, having a little trouble with that par 4 to start off their rounds. And then 2 tee off momentarily here, 10:44, which should be any minute now. Max Homa, Sahith Theegala, Wyndham Clark, Adam Schenk, and Harris English. So his next 2 groups going out should be, jam-packed with some action. And then later on there, before 11. So by the time we update you guys before the show ends here, we'll have also updates for Lucas Glover, Stuart Sink, Matt Kuchar, Kevin Kisner, Keith Mitchell. And yeah, dude. So obviously a lot of golfers to still tee off. Martin Lard, the Scotsman, to tee off at 11 as well. We've got a lot going on here, but Jacob Bridgman, Brian, is your leader through 2 right now.
If you had to say one guy right now that's on the course that you're rooting for to take it all, who would it be?
Take it all? I'm not sure, but Robbie Shelton, dude. He seems like a cool guy. Shelton, Connecticut, 29 years old, from Mobile, Alabama. Went to the University of Alabama.
Mobile?
Is it Mobile?
I don't know. Isn't it Mobile?
I think so. Yeah.
Mobile is it Mobile?
Mobile
or mobile? It's not mobile, obviously.
No, I think it's
why is that so obvious?
Mobile.
First of all,
No,
why is it
because
obvious?
No. Wait,
why is it
first
obvious?
of all, I'm trying to think.
Tell me why it's obvious.
What's there though? Because I feel like I hear them say that all the time. Obviously, University of Alabama is in Tuscaloosa, but what's there? Is it
Robbie Shelton?
Is there a combine or something?
Maybe. I don't know. All I know is Tuscaloosa.
Look it up, Tony. Come on. Like, don't leave us hanging here. Jeez.
Mobile, Alabama,
for some reason,
dude.
I feel like there's some type of combine there.
No, it's Mobile.
Or a Senior Bowl. Maybe it's the Senior Bowl.
Maybe.
I think it is the Senior Bowl, Tony. If you could just confirm that. Come on.
Mobile, Alabama. Oh, wow, dude. Part of Mobile County. Let's see what we got going on here. Known for. How about that?
Definitely. I know it's the Senior Bowl.
Museum, USS Alabama Battleship. What do they have there? 10 interesting facts. There's fire ants. The port city. 9th largest port. Wow, dude. A lot of cruise ships. It's one of the rainiest cities in America. Museum of Art. The Moon Pie. I don't know.
Can you just look up Senior Bowl, Mobile, Alabama? Or do you want to just keep looking up like the state fair?
Do you? I mean, yeah, Senior Bowl. All right, fine. Let's go. What we got going on here? Senior Bowl. Senior Bowl, whatever. It's late January, early February, in Mobile, Alabama. It looks like the Reese's Senior Bowl.
Okay, and I wonder does it say what field that is played on?
Let's see. Stadium is the Hancock Whitney Stadium in Mobile, Alabama.
Do we have a Wikipedia page?
Yes, I have it up right here.
What do we got?
Attendance too. Like
no.
Like of the stadium.
Of that stadium, yes.
Okay, let's see. Hancock Whitney Stadium. 25,450 seat multi-purpose stadium on the campus of University of South Alabama.
Wow.
There we go. Home of the Jaguars.
You know what they call it? It's Alabama.
No, really?
Yeah. Pooch all the time. Called dude.
The stadium carries the name of Hancock Whitney, a bank holding company headquartered in Mississippi, which is interesting.
Hey, I mean, listen.
Construction started in 2018, cost $78 million, dude. Opened in 2020 September with the college football game against the Tulane Green Wave, dude. Good for them, dude. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19 restrictions, all these first inaugural season games had only 6,000 spectators.
I feel like you didn't hear, Tony, just because you're anti-college, but the big news, Pac-12 going to live on.
Oh,
you
really?
see that? They're adding a couple of teams in 2 seasons. But this year, it's just Washington State and Oregon State.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize that they were even doing that. I thought they were just going to be independent.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I'd seen like that there was only 2 teams. I figured it was just dead. Like I didn't really think anything of it. But
I mean, I'm kind of Ralph where, I mean, obviously it's going to be far different than it used to be. I'll say that. But at the same time, I think it's awesome that they're staying alive. Boise State, I mean, I think that's a decent ad. They're usually good for football.
Boise's cool.
Also, Colorado State, which really in basketball and football has been competitive last couple of years. San Diego State, I think, is a great university to be part of it. And then Fresno. So I think not bad. Obviously, you want to have some competitive teams there, and it's going to probably take a little bit to add more, but at least it's a start, and at least you have a chance to really be somewhat of a conference in a few years.
I guess so, dude. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about college football, but I do know that the reason why I don't really follow too much is because of so many different conferences, so many different teams, so many different bowls, so many different playoffs, whatever, national championship bowl. It's just a lot. So I don't know. I think some downsizing would be nice. Like, why do we need every school? Like every state needs to have like multiple Division I teams and stuff. Like, come on.
I mean, I've thought the power schools should be in their own conference and then put the other teams in what used to be 1AA. That's how. And
honestly, I mean, I feel like there should be no like there's teams out there that are like fluid or non-conference and just kind of do their own thing. Like, isn't Notre Dame like non-conference, right? Are they in a conference?
They're independent.
They're independent. Yeah, I think Sacred Heart also independent now.
Are UConn.
Yeah.
But like, what? Like, join a conference. Like, how could you be independent? Like, then you can't. Like, what are we doing? Right?
You're right.
Am I wrong? Then you shouldn't be D1 if you can't fucking do that.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, I can't go on. It doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't really matter.
But you know what? You don't. The one thing, though, that I would say, and they've already kind of killed it anyway, but I've always liked the tradition of conferences, rivalries. Right. Like, don't you hate what they've done with that, Zach? I mean, it's just.
What do you mean in terms of what, though?
Like USC being in the Pac in the Big Ten.
Oh, right.
It's like they're going to play Ohio State all the like. It's like they should be playing UCLA and Stanford all the time.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like geography has nothing to do with these conferences, right?
Anymore. That's how they started with something,
which is so dumb though. I mean, I guess maybe I understand maybe in the sense where like you're forced into a conference and there's like 1 or 2 good teams, everyone else is dog shit sort of deal. But then like figure it out, especially nowadays. Like you tell me you can't like have conferences based on geography and have good teams in them with all these different types of players. Whatever. I mean, what do you see happening? Where do you see it's going? Where do you see it's going?
I think there's just going to be.
Worse?
I think they will do what I said eventually, next few years. I mean, what do you think, Zach?
Honestly, I feel like they're trying to. I mean, the goal is to get the best matchups you can possibly get.
Right.
So that's why they're merging everybody, and I think that's why they expanded the playoff and everything like that. But I don't know. I do miss like the old divisions because it
was the best.
Yeah. And if you grow up on that, you grow up on those rivalries. So you're just used to it. So it is kind of weird, I will say, like watching them all merge. It's almost like, I mean, these guys, they're all on NIL deals now. It's almost like mirroring professional sports is what they're trying to do.
Well, and also it's like the one thing that they kind of people forget about with the merging of these conferences is like, oh, great, they're in the same conference, but the SEC, there's 20 teams now, so you're not going to play every team every year anyway. So you might have you could play the other team more if you weren't in the same conference.
Right. That's
Tony,
so weird.
I
Dude.
think
Yeah,
you-
it sounds ridiculous.
It's so funny though. Like I feel like that college sports, even though with your affinity for shoe with the college spectrum, seems like it strikes a nerve with you. I feel like.
Well, obviously, shoe is a little bit something that's no pun intended, closer to the heart. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I mean, just the way you're talking about it, it's like, how am I going to follow all this nonsense, dude? And then at the end of the day, like these are fucking kids, by the way, too. They're fucking college kids. Like, give me a break, dude. Like, there's
Well, what do you mean? Give me a break.
like, I feel like. I mean, obviously, it's kind of crazy to. I mean, it's obviously something that's so huge. Like, how do you manage it? I'm obviously talking out of pocket here with your experience, and again, not really knowing the college football realm. But the whole like idea that these players now in college are like making a shit ton of money and stuff like that. Like, I don't think that really should be, dude.
No, you know what I don't get is how we got to this point. I thought when the NIL started, that would be like, okay, these kids, whatever they want to do outside of the field or off the field, whatever you want to say, off the court, they can make money however they want. But why did it have to be that schools and boosters pay them millions of dollars? Why did we do that? I don't understand.
Well, because again, it gets so hairy now. Because again, think of it like, again, using Sacred Heart as an example, Adidas school, right? They're not going to want one of the players being sponsored by Nike.
Yeah.
Right. So like, there's so much just fucking nonsense that's happening. And at the same time, it's fucking college, bro. Like, I don't know, dude. I really don't think that there should be much profit. I feel like these universities, especially with these fucking stadiums, should have like free attendance for everyone. Like, it's just a college game, dude. Like, there should be really no money made. And if there is any money made, it should be stuff that goes directly back into the football program and nothing else.
But you know what it is? In what you're saying makes a lot of sense. But it's like you just think about it with the world in general.
It's never gonna happen.
Once there's a revenue stream, they're
Everybody wants
not
it.
giving it back.
No.
They're increasing what they're making.
They're
And
taking more, dude. Exactly.
I mean, it's not even a conversation.
It really isn't, dude. And it's like, especially with these schools. I mean, you can talk about how a highway robbery of school tuition is at the end of the day, but on top of this, they're making so much money off of like sports now too. It's like, it really is kind of crazy. I think it's getting a lot of hand. And also, not for nothing, like, I don't know, does it not like take away with the whole reason of college? Like, college is fucking school, dude. Like, you see it all the time. Like, kids take class, they're on the football team, and they don't give a fuck, dude, because they're playing football. I got practice, dude. I'm sorry, I can't go to class. What is that about, dude?
Yeah. No. I get you. I mean, it just has gotten out of hand. How into it are you, Zach? Like the college basketball, college football?
I would say I'm definitely, college basketball, I'm always going to watch March Madness.
Yep.
I have some friends who are really, really into college hoops. I'm more into college football. Because I kind of grew up watching it. But if there's a big game, I'm throwing it on.
That's my issue, though. There's not enough big games. I hate like looking at the schedule this week. Like, what is the best matchup I think just with ranked teams is like Mizzou and Boston College. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, no.
You go through like those periods of time. Like last week, there wasn't really anything. There wasn't really any.
The Texas game against Michigan, but it was a blowout.
That was that was the big matchup. But like this week, there's really not much. Like I was looking at the matchups, like there's no like big ranked matchups, and I think like if you're merging the divisions, that was your goal.
Yeah,
and you're still having these off weeks. So.
Like you got to get rid of the cupcake weeks. I mean, sure, there's some like very exciting upset, that happens every couple of years, but other than that, a lot of these matchups are a waste of time, and that's what just bothers me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
What school do you like for football?
So my dad went to school at Arkansas. Because he's from down south. So I kind of grew up watching them.
Okay.
So I've been I'm accustomed, like I'm an SEC guy because like I've obviously Arkansas in the SEC and they've played all those tough teams and everything. So I try to keep up with them as much as I can, but I also just watch everything that I can because I really do love college football. Like the atmosphere is like it's so different from any other sport.
No, and don't get me wrong, I love the big games. Definitely love the big games. I just wish there were more of them. And looking at like the SEC this week, Alabama, Wisconsin, that's probably one of the best games. I mean, Alabama on the road is a 16-point favorite. Maybe something could happen. Sure. Saban's not there. And like the BC Missouri game, that's in Missouri. Missouri's 16-point favorite as well.
Wow.
I mean, where's the 2-point favorites, the 1-point favorites? You don't see it enough. And I think that's the biggest problem. Arkansas, 24.5-point favorite at home What's happened? Who did they lose to?
They played Oklahoma State last week, and it was a close game. It went into overtime
In Stillwater or in Arkansas?
In Stillwater.
In Stillwater, okay.
It was a crazy game. Overtime was super back and forth, and they played them real tough. But
yeah,
that kid Ollie Gordon, he's unbelievable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they contained him as much as they could, but in overtime, I think he got the game winning score.
Are they like? Do they have a pretty good chance, like bowl season, like 7-8 wins, like what? Or it's like know. You'll be happy with making a bowl?
Yeah, I would be. I mean, I talked to my dad about it. He wasn't super optimistic about it because it's like it's very hard. Like the way that their program is, they don't seem to be building towards anything major, like in terms of recruiting. But it's funny because their basketball and their baseball programs are really, really great. They just got Calipari for basketball, so that's
yeah, I completely forgot about that actually.
Yeah,
Tony would say Calipari's such a chief, dude.
Calamad, the Calamad dude.
Calipari.
Calamari.
But yeah, so we'll see if there's anything interesting, and we'll keep an eye out on the college football. I wouldn't mind seeing USC back, in the championship realm. I always enjoyed them, but they've struggled. Obviously not necessarily this year, but like last year was really disappointing with Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley. But let's go now to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it, Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drilled deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
Let's go, everybody. We are now in the world of the MLB, and what a night it was. 2 New York wins, 2 exciting New York wins, that's for sure. Yankees and Mets both win today. Would it be last night? Excuse me. I don't know about the Yankees. I'm sure they have a game today. Mets are off today, though, which is great. A little rest here. The bullpen, the bats, Mendoza can sleep, whatever. But last night, tremendous 6-2 victory. As we do start off recapping the Mets here. You want to look at this. This pitching matchup, Sean Manaea, again, Bowden Francis, a very interesting matchup here. Obviously, Manaea having a career year, actually, with the Mets here. I think his ERA is now a tick above 3, especially after last night, but giving a lot of great starts recently to the Mets. I think going into this game, they said they were, 27-1 in Manaea's 28 starts so far this season, which is it's tremendous, and again, I mean, start of the year too, Manaea was kind of like one of those, I feel like, toss-up pitchers, almost like Quintana, to be honest, where it's like he was, a lot of contact, a lot of hard contact against him. Earned runs were kind of getting up there. And I know, again, 3.3 isn't like a tremendously great ERA, but it's solid, especially given that tough start to the year. So, I mean, you're pretty prominent. He's a pretty prominent pitcher in the rotation. You're pretty confident in his starts that he gets. But nonetheless, dude, Francis here. I mean, he's the pitcher of the month, I think, in August, right? His last 5 starts were just absolutely like dialed in, is what they were. They were 6-7 innings, dude.
To have him on fantasy. I picked him up.
That's great. He actually had
sorry, Tony.
Well, dude, I'm in the middle of a recap here, right, dude?
I was excited. You're talking about Bowden Francis. Come on.
And he actually had a no-hitter going into the 9th inning this game, which has been the second no-hitter going into the 9th inning he's had this year, which is kind of crazy. He throws 92, exactly.
Location,
dude.
Spin.
I mean, dude, you want to first pitch of this game, high fastball. Lindor pops up to right field, and that was his game the entire day, dude. The high fastball inducing pop outs to the infield, pop outs to the outfield. That was that, dude. I mentioned the no hitter, obviously. I don't think the Mets didn't have a base runner until the 5th inning, and it was Alonso after getting hit by a pitch. So they barely, obviously, again, no hit until the 9th. So it was kind of crazy, obviously, something that I guess you didn't really expect. Again, obviously, previewing this game yesterday, Francis, we talked about it, whatever. But, I would have thought at this moment in time, the Mets lineup would kind of get to him, at some point, especially not like until the 9th. But nonetheless, in terms of the scoring, like I mentioned, obviously, Toronto starts off the scoring here in the 4th inning. Schneider grounds out to a fielder's choice. that scores Vlad Guerrero. Very hard hit ball down the third base line. Vientos honestly makes a tremendous play to grab it because that ball would have rolled out to the left field and probably would have scored 2 or honestly maybe even cleared the bags at that point. But nonetheless here, he grabs it. No play at first. Runner at first is safe. Clement, I guess ended up going out at third, but Guerrero scores. By the way, Vlad Guerrero, I mean, has he? I don't know if this is like crazy to say, but like it looks like he gained 30 pounds this season.
You think?
Yeah, right. Does he not look a lot bigger today? Like this series?
I mean, I know he did make an emphasis. Was it going into last season about he had lost weight?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you think he's
dude.
But probably I would guarantee stretch run this year. They've been struggling. They've been out of it for a while. Traded away some guys at the deadline. Once it was over,
let himself go,
fat and happy.
Hit the buffet, dude.
Yeah.
And even like I think game 1 he got caught stealing second too.
Yeah.
Like he just watching him run too is not great. But at that point, it's 1-0. All right. And I mean, obviously, like that was the score for the remainder of the game to the 9th. Manaea's final line: 6 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, 109 pitches. Gave you exactly what you needed, honestly, from him. When he got pulled at the end, or not at the end of the 7th, but 2 outs into the 7th, it was whatever. Reed Garrett does come in there and get the out that he needed to, which was great because I thought, Reed Garrett comes in with runners on too. I was very worried about him getting that last out. I kind of expected another run to be given up, but he doesn't. So they get out of that jam in the 7th there. And then at this point, you're like, all right, we got out of that inning. Let's just get a little bit of a reset here. Hopefully we get some offense going. 8th inning, obviously, Francis comes out, induces some more comes out, some more flyouts. I don't want to say strikeouts, but you'll get his strikeouts for the day. It was 1, Brian.
I thought it was a typo when I saw
right? No, literally,
Twitter,
you would think, dude. But nonetheless, dude, he gets through the 8th as well, comes out in the 9th. And wouldn't you know it, dude?
With 2 strikes, right?
With 2 strikes, Francisco Lindor absolutely ropes one, dude. And he knew the second hit, he hit his bat too. It was one of those, like he hit it staring at the dugout. Everyone's hyped. Just like that. Ends the no-hit bout, which is tough for this young guy, by the way. Second time this has happened. At some point, deserves a no-hitter. Not against the Mets, though.
You would
obviously.
think he'll get one.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Pitching like this.
So, yeah, it was an interesting at-bat. Again, the 4-seamer. I think just stayed at it, strike, and then swung at a cutter or something. And then the fastball, he was sitting fastball. It was over the middle, probably not as high maybe as Bowden wanted it, but he roped it 1-1 just like that. Obviously, Francis gets pulled after that. So, kudos to him, though. Great start, whatever. Especially I can give him kudos now that the Mets actually did win. Chad Green comes in out of the pen.
Looking a little nervous.
Looking like he had no control of any freaking pitch that he had, to be honest. After that, Iglesias reaches an infield single to third, which is great. Throwing error by De Los Santos. Iglesias goes to second. Love to see that. Chad Green, a little rattled. Walks Vientos. Walks Nimmo. Bases juiced. No outs. Alonso.
Sack fly. Of course, can't get the
big blow. But nonetheless, I mean, listen, he gave the Mets the lead. So you're going to sit there and be like, all right, Alonso, at least he didn't strike out, or worse, what he's been doing is grind out in double plays. Loves to do that. And then again, Chad Green helping out some more. Martinez walked, bases juiced yet again. Marte, sack fly RBI, makes it 3-1. Chad Green gets pulled. Cabrera comes in. Alvarez. Big spot. After being so quiet for the past, like, I don't know, two months, probably 2.5 months. Homered here, 3-run blast, it makes it 6-1, just like that. And that was the end of the scoring for the Mets, at least anyway. But obviously that homer by Alvarez also huge. Again, think about someone who just has that energy, someone who seems like who can like turn the tide of a locker room, of a dugout, hype up your players. Anything that Alonso can't do, seems like Alvarez could do that. So you have to see that. And again, I mean, that guy deserves the production. Wish I was starting him on fantasy, but I wasn't. That's totally fine though. Austin Wells.
Wow.
But still, I mean, I'm happy for Alvarez. I mean, I had to start Wells. I mean, obviously, like, Alvarez has been dead in the water
yesterday.
Ended up not starting? I must have missed that one.
No,
dude.
and I remember I mentioned that.
Hey, he might not be playing. I know
the
you
left-hander.
did. Wednesday was busy. Fucking class and shit.
Not good.
Not good, dude. But I'm still winning 12-1. Regardless, 9th inning here. Come on, let's get through this. I lost also a spot. Doesn't matter.
I mean, it's 6-1. You close it out. Game over. What? You gave up a run. Great. You still won the game, Tony, right?
Yeah, Barger hit. Static, though. Didn't use Diaz. A little nervous still, though, at that point. Diaz ended up coming in, actually. Probably should just use him in the first place. Gets the fly out to end the game. I don't know, that kind of annoyed me. A little mismanaged by Mendoza, I think. Diaz had to warm up, threw pitches, comes in for 1 out at the end of the game. Like, what are we doing? But off day today, so you just wipe it off. Whatever. Great win. Comeback. No hitter. Lindor, you said it, looking like an MVP, to be honest. Batting 270. The big home run yesterday. I mean, it's not even like he's just a catalyst. He's that guy, and he's been that guy for the entire second half for the Mets here. And you got to be so stoked about that, dude.
And it kind of came at an interesting time because didn't you say, though, he had tapered last week or two before?
In September,
game, right?
He hasn't been batting very well. The past 13, 12 days, some odd. Not a ton of production. Again, hits here and there, scattered, but not the big plays. Not like the especially you look at the stretch run he went on in the second half. I mean, it was not near that. It was, again, you were seeing a little bit of a cool down, seeing with Vientos. But right here, let's go. Lindor, huge spot. I mean, that guy just does it, dude. I mean, that's a crazy at bat to have.
Yeah.
It's 0-2. It's top of the 9th.
Higher fastball, but obviously only at 92.
Yeah.
You're looking for it. You're going to hit it.
Exactly, dude. It was such a tremendous, oh my God, dude. We're talking about being on the edge of your seat, Brian.
Yeah.
And again, it's one of those wins you look back at and it's like, dude, because if they lost the series, it would have been a really ugly loss. Day off. You're going to Philly, I think.
I believe so.
I think so too. I think the 4-game set is at home afterwards. But this is you have the biggest series of the year right now coming up. And then after that, you probably have another biggest series of the year. After that, another biggest series of the year. I mean, so important to win this game and win this series. Braves lost yesterday too. I think 5-1 or something.
Yep.
Max Fried got popped. So, I mean, it's fucking great. I'm not sure what the Diamondbacks or the Padres did, though. Merrill Kelly, I know, pitched for the D-backs, but we'll see. We'll check it. But hey, man, I mean, you're stoked, and hopefully, again, Alvarez can heat up a little bit now. That would be huge. Drury is still out. Drury is still out on Alonso. I mean, he's got to fucking pick it up, dude. Like, that's a fact. What is there? 15 games left now. Like, let's figure it out, dude. But I was saying, Minaya, over his 29 starts, Mets are 28-1.
Really? That's kind of insane.
That is insane.
Definitely a right number?
I mean, they said yesterday.
I've never heard that.
They said going into the game yesterday that he was 27-1. Or the Mets 27-1 in the starts, and they won yesterday. So,
but he started yesterday. I don't know why I was missing that.
Yeah, Minaya did start. Yes,
okay. Well, you can't bat 1,000 all the time, Tony. 27-1, perfect example, right?
Yeah, I guess it's still a great stat.
All right, Tony.
I mean, I don't know what you want me to say.
Mets off, but headed to Philadelphia for the weekend.
Headed to Philly, yes. I'm gonna double check that right now.
Pitching tomorrow.
I mean, I would imagine it's Quintana. But let's see. We are in Philly. Yes, confirmed.
Quintana versus Wheeler.
No, Wheeler just pitched yesterday. I think it's Quintana versus Nola.
Okay, gotcha.
And then Sevy, of course, against Allard. Not too sure. I don't have much on Allard.
Sevy blow up spot or no?
No. 4 o'clock game though on a Saturday.
A little nervous. 4 o'clock in Philadelphia. Severino on the hill. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like he's been very good this year, but it seems like this would be the game where he wouldn't pitch well.
He had that 2 games ago.
Right, but that seemed like another situation given where he was pitching. No.
I got to keep the faith at this point.
Absolutely, dude.
I have to.
No
doubt.
Listen,
now,
the last 2 starts have been great too, dude.
Speaking of faith, hypothetically, Mets make the playoffs. Would you feel comfortable with Severino getting the start in a playoff game?
Yeah, I would. I think he's been one of the best pitchers. I mean, him and Minaya are to me the 1 and 2 that I would want.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about you?
Or Peterson?
I would throw Peterson in
Peterson,
1.
great.
But and I know it's every year is different and stuff, but you wouldn't have thoughts back to his other previous postseason starts where I think maybe he went 5 innings one time. Maybe. I think most of them have been 4 innings or less.
Different team, better culture.
Yeah, okay, dude. Wrong person asked that question. I'm just saying.
Mean, of course, you're nervous about his postseason stats.
Saying, just be careful there. Honestly,
of course, that's why I would see Peterson first, even though his postseason experience, Manaea, I probably put at the second spot there for me, and then Sevy.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so then who's starting the first?
Peterson,
the opening playoff.
I would put Peterson in there. Yeah, he's been our best pitcher, dude.
Interesting. I feel like you're questioning that, Zach. Peterson to start the first game of a playoff series.
I would do it. Like,
right?
And I feel like Manaea, though. I feel like Manaea, you just said 28-1. Why would I still don't get it though. Why what's the reasoning?
Because I have my confidence in Peterson, right?
Right.
Because he's been our best pitcher stat wise, past, obviously team record.
Yeah.
So I'm confident in him getting the win in game 1. And then again, you follow that up with a Manaea start. I mean, that's statistics will show, and that's a win.
I think you're overlooking how good Manaea's been, though. No?
Yeah, but regardless, I still love him in the 2 spot, dude.
Yeah.
Because it's just a great, even if and they're kind of different pitchers, I guess. I mean, Peterson with the sinker, it's just a little bit, it's different. He pitches for a lot of contact too. Manaea does go for more of the strikeouts. So I don't know. I like it. And again, I don't think, even if Peterson ends up losing his first start, then I'm like, all right, I got confidence in Manaea game 2,
Mm-hmm.
I think those two are interchangeable, though. If they end up going Manaea game 1, Peterson game 2, I'm fine with that. I will say, though, Peterson, bad start, 2 days ago, I guess, against Toronto, or 3, whatever it was. I think his next start is going to be huge in terms of bounce back, showing his mental fortitude, dude. Because, again, he's never had a year like this before.
Right.
So I think, I hope that tough start doesn't trickle into oh man, am I really going to be good enough down the stretch? I want to be strong. So his next start, if he comes out strong next start, he's definitely getting that game 1 start for me.
Interesting. Well, I have to say I did not expect that. I know if you look at the numbers, they've been good, but I still think it would be, I don't know. I just don't know if he's ready for a game 1 start. I would go with a veteran pitcher. Just kind of my thought there.
Yeah.
Obviously not my decision, but
it's not, nor is it mine. But I don't know. Manaea, again, he's another player too. He's having his best career year right now, so he's another one who's never really been in this position, I suppose.
I just, for whatever reason, I guess I would just have the thought that if between the two of them, that Peterson has a better chance of getting hammered versus Manaea. I think Manaea will battle through it, even if it's 5 innings, 3 earned, where Peterson could give up 6 runs through 3 1/3.
Who are we playing?
I mean, I'm just saying, in a playoff environment.
Yeah, no, I guess so. I mean, in theory, it could happen to anyone, but I mean, I guess time will tell. We'll see what happens, dude. All of a sudden, Sevy could be getting the first start, dude, which I doubt.
I'm telling you, don't do it.
I don't think
fall
so.
For it.
Mendoza,
$100 million contract this offseason.
Dude.
Glaber joining him.
That's
the reunion
ridiculous.
pictures.
Oh yeah, sure. It's bringing
with
Clay
Bader.
Holmes too. We'll bring him in as well, dude. Yes, dude.
Trade for Rodon.
Why don't we sign DJ LeMahieu too? I mean, he's still got some juice left in him, right?
Speaking of the Yankees, Tony, I was there last night, and what a night it was. And you really can't beat September baseball. The weather, the feeling,
fall, dude.
40,000 strong on a Wednesday night.
Temperature wasn't too cold for you, dude?
No, the lowest the temperature was by the end of the game was 68. I mean, are you kidding me? That's obviously ideal.
It's pretty hot.
And we had, I guess you could say, a pitcher's duel early. First run not scored till the 4th inning, and you think about the pitching matchup here between Luis Gil and Cole Reagans. Reagans looked good early. Same thing with Gil. The only thing is, he had to work around a few hits. I mean, final line, 5 innings, 5 hits, only 1 run on a solo home run, and only 2 walks, which over 5 innings isn't great. But for Luis Gil, we've seen him do worse. So, he kept it together, got out of jams, struck out 5 through 97 pitches in the no decision. So you like to see that. The only mistake there to Massey in the 4th gave Kansas City a 1-0 lead. But the real excitement and just the whole course of this game changing in the 6th inning, Juan Soto, big at bat with Glaber on first base after working a walk, fouls the ball off of his foot. And, I had mentioned this to you earlier, was down for, it felt like 5 minutes, and just being there at the stadium, seeing him down that long, I'm like, did he just break his leg? I literally, that's what I was thinking, oh my God, this is horrible. But, and I was telling you, they're playing Rocky music in the background. He's trying to stretch it out. Dude. He gets the huge ovation. He gets back in there, fouls 1 ball off, and then absolutely demolishes a breaking ball 402 feet to right field to give the Yankees a 2-1 lead. His 39th home run, his 100th RBI. What a season he's had, and always just relishing for the big moment. And that's the first thing I was saying to everybody is like, he just gets so excited for these moments, and he really wants to make sure he comes through. So that gave the Yankees a 2-1 lead, and Hill had pitched the top half of the 6th. For whatever reason, they go to Clay Holmes for the 7th, and of course, he does the Clay Holmes dance, a couple hits, and ends up giving up an earned run on a sac fly from Salvador Perez. So that tied the game at 2. Fortunately for the Yankees, Tommy Kahnle scoreless 8th. Bottom of the 8th, Yankees chance to take the lead, send the runner, Volpe out at the plate. They review it. Trevino also out at first, double play, so it kind of takes the air out of your sails. You're not able to get anything done in the 9th. Fortunately, Jake Cousins with a scoreless 9th.
Right.
But 10th inning, they leave him in there, throws a wild pitch. That gives the Royals a 3-2 lead. But fortunately for the Yankees, Austin Wells hits a sac fly, pinch hit sac fly, nevertheless, to make it 3-3. Luke Weaver coming, back out there for the top half of the 11th, gets the job done. And what a performance from Weaver. We thought about the big save in Chicago, follows it up here, an inning and 2/3 to get the win, 3 strikeouts. And then it was interesting in the 11th inning, you have John Birdie starting on second, pinch running for Glaber, just coming back from the 60-day IL.
Birdie.
Soto rolls over a grounder, right side, gets, Birdie to third base. Jazz comes up, 1 out, just, can make an out, get a sac fly, whatever, get that winning run in. Jazz hits a rope ground ball to shortstop. Bobby Witt fields it, makes the throw, and seems like it would have been a close play if the throw was on the mark. It wasn't. So Birdie scores. Yankees win 4-3. Everybody was going nuts, and I already mentioned it. Jazz said it felt like a playoff game, playoff atmosphere, and he was alluding to that he's going to do everything he can to get the Yankees where they need to be. So you love to see that, and the fact, too, that going into this game, Judge and Soto struggling. Obviously, they did some good stuff here. Soto with the home run. I mean, that changed the whole course of the game. But Judge also had a single as well. And it's around the corner, 15 straight games, longest streak he's had without a home run since his rookie season. But the fact that you're able to battle here, last 2 series, I mean, you had the 10-run game in the first game of the series. Other than that, going back to Chicago series, offense has been, kind of like pulling teeth. Pitching has stepped up. But I just think at the end of the day, to win a series here, back-to-back against playoff caliber teams, you feel pretty good going into this 4-game home set, against Boston.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I know Boston, you're not gonna be playing them in Fenway, which is great, dude. But to this win, obviously, it's one of those gritty wins you can also look back on and be like, hey, man, like against a team who's good, by the way, too. Like this is like the Royals are good this year.
Good pitching,
great pitching,
young
dude.
Team,
young talent,
athletic, has power.
Seems like they have a solid manager and culture, dude.
Questionable. Not that it really hurt him here,
right? But
for the
still,
most part, but still, yeah.
I mean, you came in here and again, like Jazz. I mean, he's traded on acquisition here. Like
fired up, though. That's what really makes the difference with all these guys. The guys that get extra fired up, I feel like they always perform to the highest level.
Absolutely, dude. And like you said, I mean, that guy has been thirsty for a good atmosphere.
Yeah.
Ever since he came up to the league here, and he finally got it now. Excuse me. Like you said, it seems like you're figuring out, if not have already figured out, your bullpen situation, which is, obviously has not come at like a better time at this point.
Oh my God, you needed it in the worst way.
So you'd imagine now, like Red Sox come into Yankee Stadium. I mean, you should be fucking torching them, dude.
I mean, it's really a minimum 3 out of 4. You'd love a 4-game sweep, but obviously, I mean, no one calls for the 4-game sweep, but just get 3 out of 4. And I think it starts tonight. It starts with Nestor, who you would think he's pitched very well at home this year, jacked up, the whole bullpen thing. He gets another opportunity to start here, going against Cooper Criswell, a guy that you should hammer, 4.11 ERA.
Who's that guy?
Nestor 9-10, 3.97. So Yankees minus 185 here. Let's go. Let's get the series out on the right foot. Pumped to be there tomorrow for Schmidt and Houck, but we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Obviously.
But let's keep the good times rolling. Hopefully Baltimore, or actually is Baltimore off tonight, actually?
I think they are, dude.
Baltimore's off, so a win here would give you a full 2 games up on them. So, after they got walked off by the Red Sox last night. So let's go. And it is time, Tony, for a full-on abbreviated baseball frenzy.
Let's go, people. It's Thursday night, Thirsty Thursday here. And I got to tell you, I don't know if my thirst will be quenched because both the Mets and the Braves are off today. So are the Diamondbacks and I think the Padres as well. So not a huge slate. Obviously, MLB, NFL, they know the deal. They avoid Thursday night games. Nonetheless, we're starting early and often around the MLB. I say first game here, which I'm taking the night game here, 9:40 p.m. Seattle taking on the Rangers here. We have our boy, Bryce Miller, who's been killing it this year. His four-seamer has been absolutely dominant. What? You think you Miller here.
We'll talk about it after.
I think has one of the most effective four-seam fastballs in the league. We've talked about it before. Up against the Rangers here, and the Seattle Mariners have had the Rangers numbers, hammering them 5-1 in the regular season series. Obviously, most recently here, they won split 2 games against the Padres, Seattle. But before that, took 2 out of 3 against the Cards. So even though the team has been not great this year, only 2 games above 500, it's still nonetheless better than the Rangers. And still awaiting the return of DeGrom and Scherzer, which is imminent. We have Kumar Rocker,
former
Met draft pick, did not make it. The arm injury. Getting what I believe to be his first start.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
He's not going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to get absolutely
would be typical Mets.
Hammered. He's getting hammered, dude. 3
You're
innings.
Getting hammered.
7. If he pitches a no-hitter, I'll be hammered, dude. But they're getting hammered here. 5 earned runs over the course of 3 innings, couple walks, obviously maybe 6 or 7 hits here. Mariners go up early, hold the lead. Give me the Mariners, and I guess the line is 6.5. Which is kind of crazy. They're going to score 6.5 on their own. Mariners win 7-2. Mariners and the over, dude.
All right, so we already talked about it. Nestor versus Cooper Criswell at the stadium. 4 games against the Red Sox. A team that you should really handle, and you hope to handle here, and you will handle. And it starts tonight, and it starts with Aaron Judge breaking that homerless streak. It has to happen. Wouldn't be surprised if it was first inning. Could see a Gleyber single, a Soto walk, and an Aaron Judge 3-run homer, and smooth sailing from there, and maybe some smooth jazz. Maybe Jazz adding a home run as well. I think the Yankees will end up defeating the Red Sox on the heels of those home runs, as well as Nestor pitching 7 strong innings, allowing 1 run. It's Yankees 8, and it's Red Sox 4.
Absolutely love that pick here. For my second pick, we'll be going, speaking of the color red, we'll be going to St. Louis as the Redbirds taking on the Cincinnati Reds here. Sonny Gray on the bump here, coming off of a dominant start against the Brewers here. 7 innings, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, something he needed after a while. His last 2 starts, he's looked like he did at the beginning of the year. And I know the Reds here had gotten the Mets a few victories in terms of beating the Braves. But I say the Cards win this game. They win the series against the Reds. It is Sonny Gray boasting some good numbers for Tony's fantasy team. It's going to be Arenado. It's going to be Goldschmidt. It's going to be Lars Nootbaar, Brian. I know you know him, with some dingers tonight. Over-under is set at 7.5, pretty high. Sonny Gray. Complete game shutout here. Jacob Junis popped. Okay, dude. Give me the Cards. Like I said, those usual suspects scoring for the Reds, for the Cards, for St. Louis. They win this game. I would say 5-2, which gives me Cards. Oh, sorry. Full game shutout. 5-0. Excuse me. It'll be Cards and the under, Brian.
Wow.
Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go.
For my second game here, I am going to go with the Cleveland Guardians hosting the Rays here. Grant Williams versus Ryan Pequot. Pequot has actually pitched better this year, but the Rays under 500 out of it. Guardians, really jockeying for playoff position here, fighting with the Yankees for the best record in the American League. I think they will silence the Rays bats here. And I think Jose Ramirez, 4th inning grand slam, the difference in this one. We're going to say the Guardians defeating the Rays here 4-3. Clase, the immaculate inning for the save.
Clase, dude. On my fantasy team, he's been killing it, dude. He's ridiculous. Nonetheless, here, next game, kind of forgot I had a third game to pick from. Doesn't really matter, though. Oh, my God. Hayden Birdsong over there for the Giants. I don't like that matchup at all. Oh, my God. Rockies, Tigers, School Bowl. Give me a break, dude. I guess I'll take the Astros.
I was saying about that one.
I mean, Valdez.
Spence has pitched well at times.
But it's
Obviously, the
still
numbers
the
aren't
A's.
great.
We're in Houston. Altuve, watch out, though. Injured. My fantasy team. Fuck Altuve, honestly. It's
Out for the year?
No, but it's like they're precautionary. They say not a major injury, but he looked hurt yesterday. I believe it was his wrist. I could be wrong. But they say he should be back. But I would imagine precautionary. Which is 35 now. He's definitely not starting today. But nonetheless, I think Valdez would definitely, shut down the A's offense. I would say hammer the under. Strohs at 8.5. Obviously, Strohs here, minus 55. Give me Valdez, 6 2/3, maybe 2 earned runs, maybe. Houston wins this one in a little bit of a nail biter. I'll say 4-2, Strohs in the under.
All right. So I'm going to go with one of the hottest teams in the league.
Wow.
That nobody's talking about, and that is the Detroit Tigers. Winners of 5 out of 6, and albeit against, one win was against the Padres, but the A's and the Rockies going for the sweep of Colorado this afternoon at Comerica, Tony.
That's right, baby.
And you're going to see a pitching matchup of Skubal versus Feltner, one that should heavily favor the Tigers. So I don't think they get a lot of offense. This isn't Coors Field. They don't need a lot of offense.
No.
But I think the Tigers will actually win this game 2-0. Skubal, complete game shutout just for Josh B. And just like that, that is your baseball frenzy.
Wow, dude.
And the stretch run continues. A Football Friday rendition tomorrow. TCA picks.
Pumped for that, dude.
Let's fucking go, Tony.
Absolutely, dude. By the way, speaking of TCA picks and stuff like that, I didn't even realize we're in the playoffs for fantasy, dude.
Oh, are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
I'm actually not doing well. Still early, but got to start doing some things. Maybe we might even pick up somebody for today. I think I'm losing like 4-9 or something. But
shit, dude.
It can change quickly. And I had, the guy on the Blue Jays, Francis.
Yeah. So that was huge. Right now I'm up 12-1, dude.
Wow. Which
is pretty crazy because I haven't had like a week like this in a long time, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been great, obviously, so far. Looking around the league, I guess. I don't know where's the matchups for the league. Yep. Mm-hmm. All matchups, dude. Cruise control 9-4. Oh, that's right. You're playing Kev, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna change.
It is taper, dude.
It's about to change right now.
Josh B. With the fucking bye week, and I guess there's already a consolation quarterfinal. Consolation.
Yeah, if you don't make the playoffs, but
so like Riley.
Yeah, like you think Riley gives a shit about that? Come on.
There's no way, dude. Wow, so it's. Oh yeah, and then obviously bye for Anthony Brander as well, dude.
I was thinking about picking up Rocker, but you never know. Major League debut.
Kumar?
Could see him being fired up though. Passed over by the Mets. You would think there'll be a little vendetta for him there. But Josh B saying that was scary. Frenzy and Tony is kicking ass. Barnes, you are in a battle.
Oh, I bet Josh B's loving having the bye week. The step back, watching all this transpire.
One game probably came down to me not checking one day.
I hate when
Michael
that happens.
knows it.
Yeah.
But championship pedigree, that's what we saw at Yankee Stadium last night.
Dude.
And that's what we need to see in the fantasy playoffs and down the stretch of the baseball season. Let's go.
Yeah, dude. So I'm pretty hyped right now. I'm really excited. I'm doing well again. Like my team seems to be back in it to what we were doing at the beginning of the year.
Somebody
which is
told
great.
you that at the horseshoe.
But obviously, Altuve injury, like a little worrisome for sure.
Yep.
But I guess we'll see. Again, I got Sonny Gray starting tonight, but I mean, it seems like those numbers are pretty solid. Could hold, but again, I mean, the big weekend for baseball too. So you never know, dude.
You never know. But we do know another exciting show ahead tomorrow. By the way, Josh B says, nope, I'm not stopping. Keeping the same pattern. That's what Josh says. Checking every single day. Hey, well, that's good. That's what you got to do. You got to be on top of it.
No,
You got to get your reps.
I mean,
Talk
that's
about your reps.
how he got that bye week.
Yes,
he checks every day, I'm sure, dude.
So kudos to Josh B. Kudos to everyone for joining us today and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives in the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jane Costume, the merch at downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go Yankees, and we will see you mañana. Nice having a.
That's wrong.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.